Hey, hey, hey. Hey guys. So like I said in the other video, I am a little under the weather, but I'm not claiming it. Definitely not. However, I wanted to talk about, I just did a tarot video and I wanted to talk about tarot and how some people are afraid to even touch a tarot card because they think that it is going to come with some type of entity or some type of demon, right? Or some type of evil. But one thing I want to say is this. People have to understand, or like some people think that if I touch a tarot card, I'm going to get possessed or something like that, right? Let me tell you something about tarot. Tarot is, depending on how you use it and what you use it for, tarot is not something that is, in a sense, evil. Just like how magic and voodoo and hoodoo, in a sense, on how you use it, is not evil. It is what was taught by us to make us believe that it's evil, but it's not. You have to remember one thing. This religion was forced upon us, right? Back in the 1700s, if you didn't believe in religion, what will happen? You would die, right? Let's say you will be unalived, not the M word, because we're not going to use that. You would be the R word, R-A, you know, connect the dots. You will be, your house would be set on fire. You'll be burned by the stake. You will be entrapped in these traps, bear traps, you name it. Your children will be taken away from you. Connecting dots on that one too. It's a plethora of unnecessary things that we were forced into believing in religion. Now you can go on a crazy rampage here. You could, you know, I'm not going to answer to those. And if need be, I will definitely block it or turn the comments off if this goes to that point, because this is my personal opinion. But like I said, people are afraid to even touch the tarot because of what we were taught in religion and how evil it is, and you're bringing in all these entities into your life and all this other stuff. However, in the same breath, a possession, if you think, if I touch this, I will be possessed, or things will come into my life that is going to be detrimental to my life, to my children's life, to my home, to my job, or whatever the case may be. But people don't understand what happens when you drink, right? But even before we get there, let's just say this. People will do some shitty things in life. They will hurt people. They will rob. They will steal. They will unalive people. They will do all these things to other people, but won't touch a tarot card. Won't get a tarot reading. I'm sorry, guys. I have a little cold. I apologize. Won't get a tarot reading or won't touch a tarot card. But what happens when if you think you're going to get possessed because you're playing with tarot cards or voodoo or hoodoo? What happens when you drink? What happens when you drink that liquor or drink that beer? What happens then? Why do you think they call it spirits? When you go into the liquor store to drink something of your favorite drink, right? Why do you think they call liquor, or some type of liquors, or all type of liquors, spirits? I'll tell you right now, because you're getting possessed by a spirit. As soon as you open that bottle and start drinking that liquor or drinking that beer, and then you start feeling a certain type of way, why do you start feeling like a different person? Why do you think now all of a sudden people say, damn, when you drink, you are fucking ruthless and mean, and you want to fight everybody, and you want to call people out of their names, and you're fighting police officers, and you just placed in jail for a year for causing fire to a fucking garbage truck, or whatever the case may be. And people will say, but this is not you. Why do you keep doing this to yourself? Spirits, literally inside of that bottle, is a spirit. Literally, when you drink that liquor, when you drink that beer, you become consumed with that entity, with that spirit, and you become somebody that you're not. All of a sudden, you go from shy, oh no, she's shy or he's shy, and then you dabble a good amount in that liquor or whatever, and all of a sudden, you're the most outgoing person. You can't get you to shut up. Now you're flirty, you're happy, you're freaking just eluding with things to say, and your energy is just like, damn, you're fun. How come you're not like this sober? Because you're literally being possessed by a spirit. So people always have something to say about tarot, and if I touch it, what's going to happen to me? If I pick it up because it dropped, oh my God, am I going to all of a sudden have an entity following me? But remember, when you drink, you become a spirit. That spirit becomes you. And then sometimes it gets so bad that in order to get that spirit out of us, we got to puke. And we got to sit there feeling like absolute shit before that spirit exits our bodies. Sometimes we got to, the other way and it out. Let's just go with spade a spade. Because in order to get rid of the entity, you have to do certain things to get rid of it. And 9 times out of 10, you're puking your brains out all night because now that spirit is getting out of you finally. And then a couple of days later, you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to drink again. I felt like absolute shit. Once the spirit is saying, okay, now it's time for me to leave, Nine times out of 10, because not everybody throws up, not everybody feels sick. Some people just sober up and the spirit just looses that way. But 9 times out of 10, you're puking, you're shitting your brains out. You feel like complete shit because that's how the spirit is exiting your body. But yet we don't want to touch a tarot, but we want to put a spirit into our bodies. Think about that. A lot of people don't realize that. The reason why they call it spirits. That's the reason. So there's a story. Oh my God. Weed. There was a subject that I was looking at on YouTube about a channel that was talking about people's stories of their dreams, or even in everyday life, how they are. And somebody said, oh, weed can change your life and make you do some stupid shit. But who in the world, who ever heard of someone committing crimes because they were high off of weed? I never did. I never seen a story of that. I don't know, maybe because I live under a rock. I'm not too sure, but unless it's laced with something, that's when it becomes an scapegoat for other drugs to come in. But I've never I'm sorry, I had to keep my light on over here, but it's a sensor. I never heard of weed making someone so irate that they wanted to commit the M word or wanted to unalive someone. So I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I one time smoked weed. This had to been, oh my God, I had to been in my early, maybe I was 17, maybe I was 18 or early 20s. I honestly don't remember. So, this is the only time I would not smoke weed with another, depending on how I feel about the person or about the group. I rather, I don't really smoke it anymore because of that day. But the moral of the story is it's kind of not the same story as with the spirits, but kind of is, because when it's laced, again, it does bring out a side of you where you are deeper connected to the spiritual realm, only because you can hear certain things and you can feel certain things. But again, many people aren't afraid to experiment with that, even if it's laced, and they know it is, and people are still not afraid to experiment with that. However, they have a problem again with touching tarot. Sorry about that. So, my story is this. Like I said, I don't know if I was in my late teens or early 20s. This was many moons ago. Many, many moons ago. I'm not in my 20s and I'm not in my 30s. So, or I'm not a teenager anymore. I remember living in Jersey on a certain block. I haven't lived on a certain block in years, but it was the other end of the certain block. So it was down the block from where I used to live. We went inside of this, the projects, and we went inside the basement. So it was myself, a friend, and I think 2 other people. We were ciphering around the joint. I was fine for the moment. So we started to walk out of the basement and start walking up the block to what we call, in the particular town that I live, Broadway. Not in New York, but in New Jersey. It's called Broadway. Now, like I said, when you're on heavy drugs, you're more in tune to the spiritual realm. Because that's when you start to hear things, you start to feel things, you start to see things, and you're saying to yourself, does anybody else hear or feel or see this? Or am I fucking bugging the fuck out? So, long story short, as I'm walking towards Broadway, I can hear every footstep that I'm making, as if my feet were literally next to my ears. I can hear my heartbeat, as if the doctor said, here, put the stethoscope in your ears and listen to your heart. That's how precise my heartbeat was in my ears. Literally, I heard every blood flowing through my heart. I literally felt and heard exactly what my heart was sounding like that night, without a stethoscope in my ears and without it placed to my heart. I heard every single breath that I've taken that night. Every single breath. As if I was closing my ears with something that plugs it. Like if you're trying to go to sleep at night without hearing a noise, and you can hear your breath, you can hear your heartbeat. Like I heard it as if somebody took my breath out of my body and placed it as mittens on my ears. And I said, oh my God, I can hear everything. The things that I'm not supposed to hear as an everyday person, as in such, just no drugs, no alcohol, just plain old Hannah. That day, because it was laced, I heard everything. Everything. I heard people talking that weren't even talking. That weren't even there. Okay? I would literally look at these people, their mouths weren't moving, but yet I heard their thoughts. I heard the people near them. What the fuck kind of trip this was that night? I don't know what the fuck it was laced with. Abominable fluid. I don't fucking know. Dust, crack, dope. I don't know. So, before I go further, some people know what's going to happen when they do lace it themselves, right? They lace it themselves because they are more in tune with themselves, but yet they're afraid of the spiritual realm. They're afraid of tarot. They're afraid of voodoo, hoodoo, the luau's. They're afraid of all that stuff. But say, I know what's going to happen. I know I'm going to hear how I'm going to hear it, how I'm going to get really fucked up with this laced weed. But I'm going to fuck around and find out anyway. But I'm afraid of this. Tell me how that makes sense. So, like I said, I heard everything. I heard their thoughts. I heard people talking when they weren't even there. I heard my heart, my lungs, my breath, my feet. I heard myself think like loud like this, loud like this. I don't know how I got home that night. The only part I remember was walking that little block before we got to Broadway, and then I was home. But remember how I said, in order to get rid of spirit when you're drinking, you have to throw it up, or other ways. Sometimes, 9 times out of 10. I got home. To this day, I don't know how I got home. That whole entire, now mind you, I'm going to say, I don't know if I walked home. I don't know if we got back then there was no Ubers, there was no Lyft. So I don't know if I got a cab home. I don't know if I got a bus home. I don't know if somebody drove us home. I don't know. All I know is that I got home, and I remember sitting on my couch in my parents' home, of course, because I was early teens, early 20s, maybe late 20s. I don't remember. And the room literally was doing this. As if I was going to fly out of this realm into the spiritual realm. This room was spinning. Crazy. I instantly got up, ran to the bathroom. I remember this part. Ran to the bathroom, and before I could even reach the toilet, I threw up everywhere. My cat, she's looking at me like, are you insane? A little bit. I'm just kidding. I mean, I threw up everywhere. Again, that spirit coming out of your body. You are possessed when you're high. You're possessed. You take a pill, you start feeling like a different person. You could do shit that you can never do sober because you're possessed. You lace your shit, or if you don't know you laced your shit and you're smoking it and you feel a certain type of way like I just explained, it's because you are possessed. How else are you going to feel that way? Oh, it's just a pill. The pill's supposed to make you feel that way. No. In order to get rid of this certain way that you're feeling, you got to throw it up sometimes, or you just got to naturally become sober. But moral of the story is, if you could dabble with drugs and get possessed, and dabble with spirits and get possessed by the spirit as you're drinking, tarot's not going to fuck you up, baby. It's not. But again, if you think it will, it will. That's how it works. It's called the law of attraction. Even if you're not doing it consciously, you're doing it subconsciously. If you're not doing it subconsciously, you're doing it consciously. So whatever you believe, and you really truly believe in it, no matter what or who or somebody says, even if they're talking factual, actual facts, and you're like, nope, I'm going to believe this anyway. You're creating it to be the law of attraction. You're attracting it. You're bringing it to life. So if you believe that if I touch a tarot card, I'm going to be possessed, well, then you know what? Que sera, sera. It's as simple as that. But I just wanted to come on here and just say that on this video, excuse me. And, you know, if you feel the same way, if you don't feel the same way, let me know. Let's have a discussion. This is why, you know, we do these videos, so we can have discussions. But hopefully we can have discussions in a logical way, and not in a way that someone is straightforward saying, oh, fuck you, you're wrong, go fuck yourself. Because if I hear one of those, I'm blocking you. And if I keep hearing those, or not hearing it, but seeing those messages, eventually I'm going to turn the comment section off. So, you know, come polite. Or don't come at all, because I will get a spirit after you. Anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. It's a freezing Sunday, but it's a beautiful Sunday. Make the best of it, because that's what I'm going to do. Peace out in the Middle East with some hair grease. See you later, guys. Have a good one.